Hey everyone and welcome to Chairman of the Board. Today I'm looking at Masque of the Red Death, which is a programming, memory and deduction game based on the short story by Edgar Allan Poe. The game accommodates 3 to 7 players and plays in about an hour's time. I have to say I was really looking forward to this being delivered because I backed this at the beginning of the year, received this week, and I have to say I had a really good time playing it. Now, the game is a really kind of a mishmash of mechanics, and generally mechanics that I really like. You've got a bit of simultaneous card play there because everybody's going to have the same set of cards, and you're going to pick and choose when to play these cards in order to gain popularity, which is going to be basically the end game scoring, should you survive the Red Death, that is, or basically getting information, which works in a kind of deduction manner where you're trying to find out where the Red Death is going to strike at midnight. And basically you've got to try and work out which room to be in so you don't get killed by the Red Death. So there's this real balance of trying to get as much popularity as possible, but still having enough information to survive the night, or basically trying to find out as much information as possible and hope that everybody else is killed because they focus so much on popularity and don't really know where to go. So I really like that choice of maybe completely pushing your luck and trying to just get loads of popularity and not really know where or basically ride your luck and hope you don't get caught, or hope everyone else dies and you survive that way. So a really cool idea there. The theme is a one that really kind of resonated with me. I like the story. I like the idea of the story. I like the gothic kind of feel to it. And just a wonderful produced game this is. I mean, the box is gorgeous. All the components are lovely. Good miniatures if you've backed the Kickstarter version, and just the art direction is absolutely wonderful. The artist, Grizz Grimley, his style is absolutely brilliant and one of the best, one of my favourite styles I've ever seen in board games. So I really like the art direction here. Absolutely great to look at, great quality, and it just looks and feels really nice. Okay, so you've got a bit of a variation here. As I said, you've got the simultaneous card play. And everybody's got the same deck, but everybody's got one unique card as well. And those unique cards give you kind of powers which are very strong, and it's really interesting how they all work. They all seem equally good, and you don't really know when people are going to play these things, and they can really mess up the way you're trying to work out where the Red Death is going to be and stuff like that. The game also uses memory because when you find out a lot of your information, you kind of have to, you might only get a quick glance of where the Red Death is going to be, and you've got to remember that time for when it hits midnight, so you can program your moves using a little programming board where you choose to basically move clockwise or anti-clockwise in 10-minute increments. So basically when all the card play is out the way, you've got all your information, you've got your popularity up, the game is going to completely transform into a different game of programming. And basically from the room you start in, you're going to either move clockwise or anti-clockwise in different sections of the game. And those sections are trying to make you avoid where the Red Death's going to be. Probably made that sound more complicated than what it is, but it works really well. I've never seen programming used in that way before, and it just works really nice. And I have to say, I'm not really usually a big fan of memory in games, but it works really well on this because it does amp up the tension. Did you plan as you should have? Have you kind of got your wires crossed in the information you're keeping in your head? Really like that. And there seems to be a lot of these games now. I've reviewed a couple recently actually, Everdell and The Big Score, and now this one, which have used kind of tried and tested mechanics in a very simple way, but they've used a few different of these simple mechanics together in a way that's not been used before. And this game does that really well. Again, I've never seen a programming, deduction and memory and simultaneous card play used in the same game, and it works really well in this. So a nice use of simple mechanics there, and it does work really well. The feel of the game is really nice. I mean, there's not much, not too much thinking going on. It's a real kind of chilled out game where you just enjoy. The more you kind of invest in it and the more you get into the theme of it, it works really well, and you do really start to enjoy the game. The tension when that hits midnight is really tense, very exciting, and you're hoping that things have gone the way you planned, because one wrong move can have you dead in an instant, and all the work you've done is just gone just like that. So I like the way the cards interact with each other. You know, you're going to kind of peek at someone else's card, you know, the ones they've stored. You can look at the actual places where the Red Death is going to be. You can kind of mock people and make them lose popularity while you gain popularity. And the way the score track works is really cool as well, because you can't share certain spaces. So if you get 1 point and people are in front of you, you jump all of those people and get, you know, 3 or 4 points at once. Really cool that way. So yeah, you are quite dependent on the luck of the draw here. You do have to ride your luck quite a lot in that last round. But it does add to the theme of the game and adds to the tension, and it uses luck in a way that works for the game, and I like that. Plays in a very succinct amount of time. It takes about an hour, very, very easy to explain, or I say maybe a bit more than an hour, but it definitely doesn't outstay its welcome. It keeps fresh, it keeps you on its toes. You never find yourself, you know, lagging or kind of losing your attention. Yeah, so really good that way, sorry. Yeah, uptime really good because you've got the simultaneous card play. You do a lot of your things simultaneously with other players. You know, you can go in turn order if you want to, but a lot of it does work simultaneously, and the rulebook does indicate that as well. So again, not much opportunity to lose interest here, and it just, because it looks so good, it does hold your attention, and it just is like it really is like a feast for the senses. Very, very good. Loads of different personality cards, so you can have a different unique power each time. Obviously the times are going to be different each game. So the replayability is quite good. I mean, you're going to get the same kind of feel of a game every time, but it does have a nice feel to it and a good amount of replayability here. I can see me getting this to the table quite often, especially because it accommodates up to 7 players and is not a party game in a sense. So you rarely get that, and my gaming group tends to be 5 or 6 players, and sometimes we struggle for games that are like this to play because it's usually like, you know, the social deduction kind of games and stuff like that at player counts that high. But this is one that fits that player count really well and has a completely different feel to anything else, and it doesn't get bogged down with player count either. So it does it's not like you know, a drag to play at higher player counts than that a lot of games are. So good that way. The interaction is good. You don't want to, basically, if you have loads of information, you're going to find everyone kind of following you around the manor house, trying to look at your cards and steal your cards off you. So you can kind of try and keep away from everyone else and try and gain your popularity in other ways. And it's really cool, interesting the way that people move around the building as well, because you'll generally find that people follow the prince, because whoever's in the same room as the prince gets a popularity point at the end of the game, at each round of the game, sorry. So you kind of schmoozing the prince that way works well thematically, and all the player cards are really thematic as well. Like you've got like, as I said, you've got like mock, where you lose people's popularity. You've got like flirt, where you kind of gain a bit of popularity and look at someone's card. So yeah, all the cards work in a nice thematic way, and they're very, very simple. Pretty good iconography on them, so they're pretty simple to understand. And the look of the game is fantastic, as I mentioned before. The board is absolutely stunning. It's just like the wheel of all different colours of these rooms. Some of the colours are quite hard to differentiate, especially for me because I'm colourblind. But they have put little symbols on the board which do help address this issue, and it does work okay. I mean, it probably could have been a little bit clearer, but no real issue there. I am actually nitpicking. Yeah, the miniatures are good. They're very, very nice caricatures, like really well illustrated, very charismatic drawings, if that makes sense. Yeah, really, really characterful and very, very just really nice to look at. Yeah, I love the theme here. These kind of classic stories being portrayed in board games is really, really great. I mean, no one else has really done that. And I'd love to see more of it, to be honest. I'd love to see more of it. It kind of has this real kind of, I don't know, it's got this kind of classic feel to it, but it feels so fresh at the same time. Very simple mechanics, very easy to learn, but still very good fun. Really simple to set up and pack away. And it's just a really pleasant game, and we all had a really good time playing it for the first time. I think everybody enjoyed it. And you know, sometimes it's hard to get a game that everybody enjoys, and my group enjoyed this unanimously, and I was absolutely chuffed with this purchase, because I loved the way it sounded on paper, but I thought in practice it did have the potential to fall flat, because if you don't invest in a game like this, you're not going to get much out of it. But It held people's attention. Everyone enjoyed it. The two kind of distinct rounds of the game felt kind of very unique, but still familiar at the same time. And they work well together within the kind of concept of the game. So overall, I think it's a really good game. One that's very unique and got a distinct feel. And I'm really looking forward to playing it more. Love that it plays so many players. Absolutely gorgeous to look at. So yeah, overall, definitely, you know, a solid rating for me. I think it's a very, very good game, and much better than I even anticipated. And I obviously anticipated it to be good because I backed it. So absolutely chuffed for this purchase, one that I'd recommend. And I hope it does take off because it's kind of a game that's kind of flown under the radar a bit in this world full of, you know, these very big Kickstarter campaigns that are going on nowadays. So yeah, I'd love to see this do well at retail. Would recommend it, and yeah, really very good game. Beautiful theme, beautiful components, great fun, very, very exciting in that second round. You know, not the deepest game, not loads of great strategy, but fun. So as you can tell, I like the game. If you have enjoyed this review, please hit like and subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos too. For everyone else, I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye.